Hey guys, it's Nate, aka TheFutAccountant. Welcome back to the channel. Not only is it ice cold outside right now, but the market is ice cold inside of FC26 as well. We are fully in the winter wildcards market crash after a combination of all the leaks that we've had about the upcoming promo and the hype building up for it. People are selling cards, prices are tanking. Mbappe is below 1.7 million just after being 1.9 million 2 days ago. There's some even worse price crashes that we're going to take a look at today. We're going to discuss why the market is crashing and where I think the market is headed as well. Hint, I think it's going to go lower today, but there could be some cards we can invest in and maybe a couple of ways to make coins right now while the market is going down. We'll talk about that in today's video, as well as look forward to today's content on Monday. Not expecting too much, but hopefully we do get some player picks and maybe another player SBC and maybe that provisions pack that was talked about but has not been released yet. Let's discuss, guys. If you're excited for it, drop a thumbs up on the video, hype the video, and subscribe if you are new. Now, we're going to start with yesterday's Sunday content in objectives, where we have some packs that we can grind for, but a lot of people are not looking forward to the Silver Superstars League Season 3 because it's going to be competitive and the rewards don't necessarily seem worth it unless you can complete this whole objective. And to do that, you have to get 20 wins out of a fixed number of matches, 35 matches in the World Tour Silver Superstars League, and you have to win 20 of those 35. So it's not impossible. It's just going to make the mode a little bit more competitive because there is a limited number of games. Now, the group reward of an 86x5, that is very good. You get the Technical Plus evolution as a part of this as well, which goes on max 85 rated players. That's a good playstyle plus. Here for winning 15 games, you get the Enforcer base playstyle, and a lot of people are looking at this Advanced Forward Plus Plus because notice the rating, max 87. So yes, of course, that does mean this will fit on the 87 player of the month, Claudia Pina, and give her the Advanced Forward Plus Plus, which a lot of people would use. I'm using this card on False 9 right now because that's what she has as a role plus plus. Giving her Advanced Forward would be very nice. So a lot of people are looking at that win 15 reward. There is a good one. But then other than that, you know, you have to win games and you have to play a lot of games to get these packs. Now, personally, I like the silver modes. I will be playing this week because I have the time to and because I enjoy using the silver players personally. But winning 10 for an 84-3, winning 5 for an 83-5, assist 10, scoring 15 for an 84x5, and then after that, you know, scoring 6, like it just gets a lot worse after that. These first couple objectives here, those are really the ones that don't feel worth it to play. So it's kind of like you have to go all into this or it's not worth playing, if that makes sense. You need to be scoring in 15, winning 10 to 15 games or all 20 to make this feel worth it. I think actually that this league, I would rank below for sure the Unbreakables League in terms of the rewards that this gives. This is the #1 most important part of gameplay right now. The mode that you guys should be playing is the Unbreakable League because of the packs that you get from this and of course some of the evolutions that it gives. This is the #1 priority. After that, of course, you know, Foot Champs is important, of course. Division Rivals is there. I think I would rank the Silver Superstars League below all of those, to be completely honest, because sure, you do get a couple of packs, but you got to put a bit of time in, and you can probably get your Rivals games in about the same amount of time you could play that whole league, or you could get a lot of Rivals games in for 35 games. Hopefully, we're all getting our Rivals points in a lot less than 35 games. So I'm going to have to rate Rivals above the Silver Superstars League for most people, but it just depends on how much you want to grind, because I do find it fun. I know some of you guys do as well, but I think that's where we have to look at the gameplay right now in terms of the rewards, because of course a lot of us, myself included, are saving packs, so we're trying to get as many packs as we possibly can, but of course you got to take into account how much time you got to play and how much gameplay is required for the certain modes. Now, we have some good Evo rewards and objectives there in the Unbreakables League, but there was a very good Evo that was dropped yesterday in Evolutions itself. That is the Keep Good Company Evo here. It's a center back Evo. This was leaked yesterday before the content drop. It is a very good Evo. It's very good. Look at the stat boost here. We're talking plus 15s, plus 10s, plus 12s in these different categories. And yes, it does take 5 different levels, so you have to play a good chunk of games, but you get so many playstyles. Even if you don't want block plus, you can put this on a player who already has a playstyle plus, and this Evo is amazing for chains. A lot of people are actually using this Keep Good Company evolution in chains with the Athlete Lab, which I just put this on Jarzinho because I'm going to create a little fun card here with his item. But this gives you a little bit of pace. Again, if you have a 82 or 83 pace center back, you can put them into that Athlete Lab Evo, give them a little bit of a pace boost, and still keep them under the max 87 that is required for this Keep Good Company evolution. And that is where some of the best chains are coming out of for these cards. Now, players like Ward-Prowse, you can plug and play somebody like this into it. Still looks very interesting. The card that I'm eyeing for this right now at the moment is a silver Robinson card from the United States men's national team, because I already put a playstyle plus in his item. I was thinking ahead. I wanted the Bruiser Plus. He's only an 83. He does need some more playstyles, but you get the Anticipate from this one. You get Power Shot. You get, I think, Jockey and Slide Tackle, all from this evolution. Do you get Jockey? No, you get Bruiser Base, right? He already has a Bruiser Plus. So he already had Jockey on his card from the beginning. But those are good playstyles. You get Defender Plus Plus, and you get the Block Plus if you have nothing else. Block Plus, by the way, is not terrible. I used that Tamori card from the Season Pass, #1, the first one of this year, and he is a very, very solid item. But if you take a look at Footbin, you see so many people are creating really nice cards with this evolution. There's the Banez back again. He's got just the maximum pace right there in his card to be able to fit this. You could chain him into some other evolutions even before putting him into this new Keep Good Company evolution. Murillo's gold 83 rated card is fitting into here. And then, of course, you still see some of the absolutely insane chains. That Lucas Bergvall card there. I mean, look at, what is this? This guy, a bronze card whose name is Ask. Daniel Ask. Look at the state of that card, man. I know he doesn't fit in the new Evo that came out yesterday, but man, the chains right now, this is another thing we're going to talk about it that is impacting the market, because people are creating these absolutely incredible chains from all the evolutions that we have out right now. But that was a new Evo from yesterday. It did actually hurt prices on the market, since we're talking a lot about the market today. Center backs that are of value, not like crazy center backs, but some middle tier center backs, I would say. 170,000 coins for Eder Militao. Since his gold card is one of the more popular ones, people are chaining into this. He definitely dropped off a lot yesterday from 170K down to 120. So there were some extra price drops on center backs because of the evolution that came out yesterday too. Now let's go to SBCs, where we had two new drops to discuss. The first is the base icon match day pick between Dalglish and Garrincha. And to be honest, the value of this SBC compared to where the value of the cards are on the market is actually good. This SBC is coming in at 540,000 coins from scratch. If you have no fodder in your club and you want Dalglish or Garrincha, that's how much it's going to cost you. When these cards are both 700k plus on the market, or were, I think Garrincha's right now a little bit below 700k, because of course the SBC is out, so these cards have dropped in value, right? This card was 950k last week, and now he has an SBC out that you can get done for 500k. That is technically good value, but you have to want Garrincha or you have to want Dalglish. There's somebody in the stream that was saying they run a Road to Dalglish account. This is perfect for them. This is exactly the SBC that they're wanting to do. You get that one done and you go for it, right? That's where this SBC fits. But for a lot of us, we're thinking about what's upcoming with Winter Wildcards. We don't want to spend our fodder on that for a player that doesn't necessarily upgrade the team a ton. And I think that's why this SBC is ending up being 3/4 of the vote downvoted towards it, 76% downvoted, just because of the cards that come out of it and where we are right now, and how many great players a lot of us probably have in our teams that match up with those icons, to be completely honest. Now, the other SBC we had yesterday is more of a fun one, and you can see that I did it once because I wanted to have a little fun yesterday. The 86 plus base or ultimate screen hero pick. It is a 1 of 3 hero pick. It requires 84, 85 with 2 team of the weeks there, and an 86 rated squad to get it done. It's coming in right around 80k. It's 65% upvoted because it's cheap enough to do for a lot of us, but also it has that allure of the 1 of 3, and it's got ultimate scream heroes in it. I did this once yesterday. I got Rudy Voller, so it's not terrible, but it's also, again, another one of those SBCs that's kind of a trap. If you don't have a lot of fodder or a lot of coins, this is one that would be draining your club of those very important resources before we do get to Winter Wildcards. Now, we had talked about investing in some fodder for this and the refresh of the icon pack. Both of those were SBCs people were completing yesterday because the base icon upgrade is now repeatable 3 more times. as it refreshed, fodder really didn't move a whole lot, which is a little bit concerning if I'm being completely honest. With a hero pick and an icon pack refreshing, fodder went from about, 87s or just under 6,000 coins. They did go to about 6.5k, but they're right back down to about 6k flat right now. 88s went from 10k up to 11, back down to 9.9 to 10k where they are now. What's going to happen to fodder throughout the rest of this week? Well, I was hoping for a bigger rise yesterday because of the kind of fun gamble SBCs that were coming out with the hero pick and the icon pack refreshing. But since that has not been the case, I don't know if you really want to hold on to this fodder, because what SBCs are people going to be doing throughout the rest of this week that would be higher rated squad requirements? The only way I think fodder moves up between now and the end of the week is if EA were to start giving us SBCs for Winter Wildcards like before the promo came out. And I 100% realized that Winter Wildcards is going to give us daily SBCs. That was one of the leaks we talked about. That's one of the things we love about Winter Wildcards every single year. But if you actually go back and look at how fodder moved last year, the whole entire month of December, fodder prices dropped, especially on the top tier last year. Now it's already super cheap. I'm not saying that's going to happen this year, but I think 90 rated cards last year, or 91 rated cards, went all the way down. Like 91 Rodri last year, I think was like 20k for a 91 rated card, right? Harry Kane's the cheapest one right now at 38k, and Rodri's a 90 is 24,000 coins. And then of course during Team of the Year, all the fodder on the top tier, 89s and above, exploded, right? Of course we remember that. That could happen during Winter Wildcards this year. It just depends on the SBCs that we get. And fodder has been moving. Like, we've been watching it. You take a look at the 88s, you see it go from 10k to 12k or 12k to 14 within a week. Like, we have these nice movements in the last couple weeks here. 12k up to 15. Now, of course, we've kind of gone down and we haven't gone up yet. But at the moment, it would take big leaks, I think, for Winter Wildcards SBCs and maybe even some early drops of SBCs for the promo to make fodder go up a whole lot this week. Even though we're ending with the weekend league supply, I would say if you need the coins and you invested in fodder, maybe try to lazy sell it, get a couple extra 1,000 coins out of it, but it doesn't look great until we get into maybe even next week after we see Winter Wildcards drop and all the packs opened for that. So I'm a little bit skeptical there. I do like Informs a bit more, but mostly because those just showed signs of life, right? Like, these cards actually went up yesterday. Informs went from 11,500 coins on the market right before content. They were there, and they went all the way to 13,000 coins into the sell. They're 12.5 right now. I think the 85 plus times 2 upgrade pack that we can do 2 times a day is one of the main reasons why Informs are doing pretty good and why they rose yesterday. Today is the last day we can do this SBC before it expires, but I bet EA would bring out something else before Winter Wildcards for us to craft and to stack before the promo. So I think Informs, if you can get them, I think 12k is the maximum that I would pay. I really like 11,000 coins for those Informs. Of course, right now they are 12.5. If you can get them at 12k flat, I'd say that's maybe a decent price to get them, but I think that's the safer part of the market right there. Fodder that actually has a chance to move a little bit. I'd also actually say I think 85s out of all the different fodder ratings have a chance to move a little bit too. They're 1.9. You get them at like 1.7. They could go up a little, but honestly at the moment, as we start talking about the market and the big crashes that we have going on, I'm just trying to stay mostly liquid. I know I've spent a couple of coins here. You see me have a few cards on my transfer list. I'm trying to do a couple of quick flips here or there, but I am not going to hold on to these cards for very long at all, because I do believe the market is going to crash even further. Guys, let's talk about the big story of the game right now, which is the Winter Wildcards market crash. We knew this was coming, but every time you see player prices tank this much, it's just wild. Jude Bellingham was just 1.2 million coins after being 1.8 mil a couple days ago. This Zlatan card is 3.4 mil after he was 4.3 million coins just a couple days ago. The prices are crashing, and this confirms that the leaks for Winter Wildcards and the hype for Winter Wildcards is loading. People are preparing for the promo by selling cards from their teams. Now, let's take a look at some of these price drops. The new Bukayo Saka card yesterday from 1 million coins even went up to 1.1 at one point. He's down to 800k. That's a 300k drop in one day. Bonmati, this drop's huge. 2.7 mil down to 2 mil flat, down 700K from one of the best midfielders in the game in a single day. And then Jude Bellingham, as I mentioned as well, from 1.6 mil. He was already dropping from Saturday, right? Saturday he was 1.8, Sunday down to 1.6. He's down to 1.2 million coins at the moment. Now, why are these three specific cards dropping a lot? Is it because they're all expensive? No. It's because they're all a part of the winter re-release that was leaked. Remember, it is the Unbreakables, the Jogo Bonito cards, and the Thunderstruck items that are going to be a part of the players re-released in packs, and that has extra panic involved for these different cards because people know there's an opportunity for them to come back into packs, and we know what happens when cards get re-released. They drop a lot in price. So that's one of the main reasons you're seeing these specific cards move. But it's not just those. Kylian Mbappe, we looked at his price already, right? On Saturday, what was he? 1.9 million. What is he today? 1.6 million coins, below 1.7. The market is crashing, but the question is why? Why are player prices dropping? Well, part of it's obvious. Part of it's maybe not. Obviously, winter wildcards is coming and people are selling. They are cashing out. They are getting players out of their team because they know that there's big content upcoming. There's big cards upcoming. You've got little bro and big bro icons. You've got daily player SBCs. Undoubtedly, probably some big evolutions that are going to be dropping as well as a part of this promo. So people are just selling cards because they know that this is one of those big promos that they're going to need coins for, and that there's going to be a lot of cards and a lot of content released, which would in turn make player prices drop on the market as people move on to new cards. So people are selling, right? People are panicking, if you will. But the second part of this is nobody's buying. That's the second part of a market crash, right? Because you could have people that were panic selling cards like crazy in the market, but if there was a lot of other people that still wanted to buy, then player prices would be going up, or at least they would stay around the same level, right? They would at least have some good rebounds. And right now, you have so many people that are also very excited for winter wildcards. While all these people are selling, you have these people who aren't buying because they know winter wildcards is coming too. And that creates the big price drop-offs that we've looked at on a lot of these cards. So there is a lot of supply and there is very little demand because of winter wildcards incoming. So if you want to take a look just for fun, or to maybe try to do a risky trade, because as you can see here, some of these cards that are expensive and rare, they drop a lot, they rebound a little bit, right? You go from 2.7 mil on Bonmati down to 2 mil, back up to 2.2, right? So you could have made 100K there on a trade. She even went up to like 2.3 mil and I think had a sale, 235 and 238 when she rebounded up a little bit right here. So you could have made a good chunk of coins risky quick flipping a card like that. How can you find these players that are dropping loads on the market? Go to the footbin.com, the market tab right there, click on index 100, and as you can see here, you scroll down to the top gainers and losers in the last 24 hours or the last 4 hours. You can see what cards have dropped the most, and that's usually a good way to maybe find a player who you might be able to risky flip trade. Like I just picked up a Modric for 250K because I saw that yesterday. I know he's in packs. I get it. I said risky, right? This is risky. He went from 350K down to 260, went back up to 280. And when I looked at his card price, I was like, this is a card that a lot of people may just still want to wake up and try today. He's been selling at 270. I bought one at 250 to sell it at 270, hopefully, and get out of that card and not risk it too much, but still maybe make some coins potentially on a card like that. We also I showed you the Bonmati, right? Bonmati was on this list as well. So if you just want to try to find cards that are down a ton, that's one way to do it on the market on Futbin. But that's the next question that we have to answer, right? Where is this market headed after we've seen price drops like crazy after one day yesterday, on Sunday, and a little bit on Saturday as well? Where are prices headed? Even on cheaper cards. Can't leave the cheaper cards out of the conversation. Graham Hansen, 130K on Sunday. On Saturday, 150K. Hello, she's 111,000 coins right now. Where are prices going to go now that we've had all of these crashes? In my opinion, we're not to winter wild cards yet. We're still heading out of the weekend league. There's still people that have tradable cards in their team. This is only the first day, in my opinion, of the real market crash. I think there are going to be more price drops on the market today on Monday as the weekend league ends, as people are getting ready once again for the winter wild cards promo. I think there's going to be more price drops. Right now, again, I know I have a couple cards that I invested in. The safest thing you can do is just sit back and watch the cards drop. Maybe make a list of players that you have, like in your ideas of squads you want to build, players that you want to buy, and you want to watch those player prices and see how much they drop, and then maybe start to think about how much you'd be willing to pay for them or how much you think they're going to drop over the course of the next couple of days that we should see prices dropping. However, I do want to put a caveat on this because I do think some cards can actually be their lowest before the Winter Wildcards promo drops in the next day or two, because some of the top tier icons from promos that we've already had, like Thunderstruck icons or maybe even some base icons, since they're super rare and still a lot of people want to buy them, I think there could be some cards that end up being buyable in the next couple of days. Those would be rare out of pack special cards, expensive ones, and icons. Maybe like a card like Taram, right? Because Taram this year for Black Friday dropped from 1.8 mil in November down to 1.4 mil right before Black Friday came out. Well, Black Friday packs were opened, people got coins, EA put out better weekend league rewards, which gave out more coins. He went back up to 1.8 mil. Still a very valuable meta card at this stage of the game. Well, where is he right now? Back to 1.4 mil. I'm not saying he's going to go all the way back up to 1.8 during this, Winter Wildcards promo period. Usually we don't see as big of rebounds after Winter Wildcard starts as we do after Black Friday. So I wouldn't expect this to happen once again. But, let's say Taram goes down to like 1.4 flat, maybe even 1.3 mil in the next 2 days. And that's a card you really want for your team. You might be able to buy him for 1.3, 1.35, and then sell him later on this Friday for maybe like 1.5 mil. But I don't think that any price rises that we have out of Winter Wildcards will last for that long. Take a look at last year. This is Taram's card, right? Heading into Winter Wildcards, his price crashed 1.7 mil down to 1.3 right around this exact same time last year. His price ended up rising back up into late December. So like, what do you have here? You've got 10 days from his lowest point to his peak, and then you drop back down again. And then, of course, he actually maintained his price pretty well after Team of the Year, but that was because this was a new icon, super meta card. Most cards are not going to do this. I picked out a good example. Not all of the icons in the top tier are going to do this. Your most meta ones, your most popular ones, the ones that the pros are using, those would be cards, if you're going to look at the market today or tomorrow in the panic selling of this Winter Wildcards market crash, I think you could be buying cards then, but I'm not expecting really big rises, as I mentioned, after Winter Wildcard starts on Friday. And the safest thing you can do right now is not be buying. I know I'm doing risky stuff at the moment. I'm trying to buy Zanetti for 400K, and I'm hoping to sell him for like 445,000 coins. That would be the ideal sell price here because he's really rare. He's in this promo team. People may want to try him out, but that's a card that I'm not going to mess with for too much longer. Same thing with this Vieira here, just trying to do a quick flip. I bought him for 1.15 million, trying to make a quick like 40,000 coins and get out of that card. But then I'm going to be sitting back and I'm just going to be waiting and watching the market. The number one way you could make coins right now is kind of swooping in on lower budget cards on bids. One thing right now with the market, you're seeing a lot of the more expensive cards crash, the top tier, even the middle tier, I'd call it. The cheaper cards, people still buy those. Like cards that are under 100 to 200,000 coins. They're like, even this Graham Hansen card, there's going to be people that are still buying these cards right, left, and center, especially if you go to like other out of packs promo teams that we've had from a little bit earlier on in the year. Like go back to the ratings reload promo, maybe even just back to the captains promo. You find some cards in foot captains, since these cards have boosted chemistry, they're like Di Lorenzo for 75,000 coins, Robertson for 140,000, Bernardo Silva for 55K, Odegaard for 164. These would be perfect examples of cards that you could absolutely still be trading with on this game because they're lower budget. People are still going to be buying these and selling these. These guys haven't really crashed as much. Like, sure, Odegaard did over the weekend because of the Evo. But even between Saturday and Sunday, he went from 150K back up to 161. So that's not that great of a swing. But, on a bid, that's why I say bids. You might be able to snag this. Look, 145K just went for this card on a bid. What's his cheapest buy now right now? 164. Boom. Over 10,000 coins of profit like that. Just because you were bidding on a card, you won it. You did a little bit of extra work when nobody else was looking at that card in the market. and you got yourself a bit of a flip opportunity. That's probably the best way to make coins right now. Lower budget. There's a lot less risk there. Get on bids, and you can flip cards for easy little trades just like that. Right there, like I showed you with the Odegaard. Look at this Di Lorenzo. He was 86K. He was 90K on Saturday. Dropped all the way down to where he's now in the low 70s. Maybe he goes back to 82K today. You buy him in the low 70s. You sell him in the mid 80s. That's a way you can make some coins, but the bids are going to be where you get those deals right now on the market. Other than that, be careful, stay safe out there. And if there's still cards that you're wanting to sell from your team, especially if it's from Unbreakables, Joga Bonito, or the Thunderstruck, like Thunderstruck cards, man, that is a big, big issue right now because a lot of these cards we're still awaiting upgrades on. Like, imagine Pedro Neto gets re-released back in packs, which is very possible. He's got a lot of hype. He's going to tank in price if he gets re-released in packs, even though he still has upgrades incoming. So these cards right now, I'm kind of hands-off on. Same thing with the Jogas and the Unbreakables just because of their potential re-release scenarios. Now, one thing I will say is we still have got to learn about this promo some more. I wouldn't be surprised, actually, if today on Monday or tomorrow on Tuesday, EA started putting some of the Winter Wildcard stuff in the game. They've already put it in one of the live events. If you guys did not notice, there's a new, I think it's under tournaments. Yeah, Winter Wildcards tournament and a Winter Wildcards tournament finale. Doesn't look super crazy, but it's a daily refreshing tournament. But stuff like this, EA puts these in the game a couple days ahead of time, so it's not really a leak, but we're waiting for the leaked player SBCs. That could cause more panic selling. We're waiting for leaked evolutions as a part of this. There's still more information and still more hype to come for Winter Wildcards, which is one of the main reasons that I think prices could still drop on the market, and that's why it's best to be safe right now in terms of cards. Now, let's talk about content today on Monday, because I'm not expecting that crazy of a day, but we actually might get a couple things that might help us get our clubs ready for Winter Wildcards in this promo. First of all, we got to be doing our daily bronze, silver, and gold packs because I think today we're going to get player picks back again. We had these 78 plus player picks last week, and they were 3 rares, 3 or 4 commons, I think was the requirements for those. Actually, right now, it would not be a bad idea to be putting in some of your common golds and rare golds. In my opinion, maybe not sending the whole entire club into doing some player picks, but doing just a couple of player picks. You know, maybe you get lucky and packing Unbreakables, but what you're really going to do is start stocking your club full of players that are, 82, 83, 84 rated, maybe even 85s from those 78 plus player picks, because what you're going to be doing every day is doing your daily bronze, silver, and golds and turning in those daily gold players that you get, those common golds and those rare golds. You can maybe do like 5, 7, maybe 10 player picks a day if it's the same requirements as last time around from the daily upgrades. And that's going to give you some extra fodder in your club. I think that's actually going to be worth it. I started to do more player picks last week. I'm going to do more player picks this week as well. Even before Winter Wildcards that could bring a crafting. Again, one of the things that has been leaked, FIFA Trading Romania leaked that we were going to get a rare provisions pack SBC as a part of content soon. That is something that could drop today as well, as it could be kind of involved with the upgrade pack, right? A rare gold provisions pack gives 45 rare gold player items rated 75 to 80. I mean, it's not going to be super cheap, but if that's a part of today's content too, that could make doing player picks a really nice craft. If there's a way to get gold commons as well through maybe some of the other like league SBC packs or something like that, or just stocking your club with rare golds to do player picks, that would be very, very handy and helpful. So watch out for that as a part of today's content as well. I mentioned watching out for more Winter Wildcards leaks. Here's the full leaked team that we have so far and all the players that are involved in it. I should have mentioned this a little bit earlier. Gabrielle is a new name that we did not talk about yesterday. Alexis McAllister, Jonathan Ta, Selma Basha. Rodman's got a duo release here. Kingsley Coman, Lorient, Rulli, Gerard Moreno, and King. We're still waiting on a few more names for sure, but these are the names we have so far. Also for icons, we've now got Luis Figo, Julie Foudy, Collier, Cordoba, and then of course the new Pizarro. So we're awaiting more leaks, as I mentioned. That won't be necessarily a part of today's content on Monday, probably for the next 2 days. But just wanted to mention that there. We got more players that are leaked. Last thing for today on Monday, there's 2 player SBCs that we haven't seen yet in here. Or 3 actually. We have not seen Udol, Alex Baena, or Santos, I believe. So maybe a couple or one at least of these SBCs would be dropped today. I'm not expecting that big of a content day today, guys. Today is going to be a day to get involved in some gameplay, work on those objective packs. That's going to be the way you can stock up on packs right now. Get your daily SBCs done, maybe get involved with a couple of player picks. And there's no pro event today because all of those for the FC Pro are done until January. We had that pro event that was on Saturday as well for those packs. So it's really going to be a quieter Monday today, to be completely honest, unless the leaks bring us some surprises. So watch out for more prices dropping on the market. It's going to get crazy out there. But of course, on rare cards, there could be opportunities for flips if you do want to get risky with it. I just watched this Saka go from 760K to 850,000 coins where he is right now. So, you know, there was a flipping opportunity there. You could have made some coins, but it's very hard to time those. Very, very hard and difficult to buy at the right time and sell at the right time in those scenarios. So probably best to stay away from those and just watch the market crash further today and into the rest of this week. How far? Depends on how good the leaks look for winter wildcards. But it just means that the hype is building. And I know a lot of you guys have already sold your cards or you're running a tradable. So you're not really losing out on too much today. But it still is crazy to watch prices crash as much as they have. And we'll see how much more they go down today. That's the video for me today, guys. If you did enjoy it, drop a thumbs up on it, comment down below if you have any questions, and subscribe if you're new. I will see you guys in the Twitch stream today. We're going to get some gameplay going, get some rewards open and saved, of course, for the upcoming promo. And we'll see how bad this market drops, man. I will see you guys in the stream today. It's been TheFutAccountant. Catch you there. Peace out.